episode of Stu and the Nut, an online radio show and podcast focused on national security, policy, politics, and selfless service. We're here to give you an honest opinion, a different perspective, and hopefully a few laughs. We do this by not only interviewing guests, but also sharing our own perspectives and asking you, the listener, to interact with us on our chat room, via our Facebook page, and of course, on Twitter. Keep it funky.
And that's it, everyone. Welcome to another episode, a special episode, November 1st. This is a special one with my good friend, Scott Mann. And you can see Scott. Scott, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming on this Sunday night, buddy.
Thank you for having me, Troy. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man, no problem. I always love catching up with something we try to do, and boy, it's amazing. Everybody talks about this COVID stuff and pandemic and slowing things down, but the last thing it seems like it's been doing is slowing down for some of us.
Yeah, no, exactly. It seems like in a lot of ways things are moving faster than they ever have, which I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So so for those who don't know, just tuning in for this special Sunday evening, November 1st, Lieutenant Colonel retired, Special Forces, accomplished career. How many years total did you do?
Almost 23.
23, and got out from being a door kicker and a pipe swinger to writing a play and starting a nonprofit and doing a number of things. Can you give our viewers and listeners maybe that haven't caught you before in the show just a quick summary of kind of what you did after you retired and what that's turned into, and then want to get right into your new project?
Yeah, no, I spent about 18 of my 23 years as a Green Beret, multiple combat tours, a lot of time in Afghanistan, Central South America, and when I got out, I had a pretty rough transition. I wasn't prepared for the challenges that came with transitioning into civilian life. It put me in some pretty dark places, and I almost checked myself out. Matter of fact, it got so bad at one point, and power of storytelling actually through some great mentors that helped me get my feet back on the ground and just reconnect with my own narrative, where I could learn how to pull a lot of those dark experiences, what I call the generosity of scars, struggles from my own life, times in the military, and put it in the purpose of other people. And just I was so enamored with the power of storytelling, Troy, that my wife and I founded a nonprofit called The Hero's Journey that, we help warriors find their voice and tell their story. And ultimately, it led to a play that I wrote and that I performed with other combat veterans to show the power of storytelling, but also to help civilians understand the cost of modern war.
And quite a play it is, and I can say firsthand, having seen it twice, it turned into a mini groupie as I did. Followed you to New York City to see a second time. It was so good. And and how can people see that right now with everything that's going on?
Yeah, so it's called Last Out, ELEGY of a Green Beret. And just like so many other things with COVID, theater really got shut down. We were just about to start our second year. So we're not touring right now, but it is on Fox Nation, which is the streaming service under Fox News affiliate. They came to Bragg and filmed at Troy in December, right before the first year of the tour ended. And then they put it up on Memorial Day. So it's real easy to get. It's a great play. And there's also a documentary that goes with it on Fox Nation as well that gives you the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Oh, that's a bonus package if you can see it there that you don't normally. I mean, when you see it live, you get a little Q&A at the end, right? People get that with you and the other actors, but it's pretty good. So that's like you said, with COVID and everything shutting down and tours and of course concerts and everything else stopping across the country, it gave you some time. I guess kind of let's break right into what new ideas did you come up with, and what new projects are you launching here on Veterans Day?
Well, we almost didn't launch anything because I think like a lot of people, we kind of got just felt like we kind of had our knees cut out from under us with theater shutting down and everything, and it was really hard on our team in particular. Our cast members struggled a lot. These are veterans and military family members. And it was about a month ago, man. I was looking at just all the division in the country and the way things are going, and I just thought, man, we're on a path right now that we're going to smoke through this Veterans Day, and as a nation, we're not even going to collectively honor our social contract to the men and women that have served this country. And I'm not good with that. My son Cody's now serving as an infantry lieutenant. And I'm just like, theater or not, we need to do something. So I rallied the team and I was like, let's do a streaming performance. Let's call it Better Ground. And if nothing else, let's remind our veterans that we're still with them. We're not going to forget about them, and let's rally people around that. And so that's what we're doing on November 11th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's called Better Ground: Healing America Through Combat Storytelling.
And where can people catch that at?
So it'll be on. We've got the links going out everywhere, and I'll make sure you have the link, Troy.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be on like a video platform streaming, but we've got on Facebook, Instagram. If you go to theheroesjourney.org, THEHEROES.org, the link's right there. It's $10, and all the proceeds go to. This is what I know you'll be excited about. We're going to be opening up a Veterans Performing Arts Center in Tampa in 2021, and so all the proceeds for this will go to that.
Wow. So what's this Veterans Performing Arts Center? What is it? Is it going to provide that conduit for veterans to make it easier for them to branch into that, to maybe find a therapeutic space to perform?
Yeah, man. I mean, when we traveled to tour and we saw you in Buffalo, we were able to perform at the glorious Shea Theater there in Buffalo, which is so beautiful. But then other places we went to include New York, we really had to just kind of beg, borrow, and steal to find space. Some people were not super open to veterans telling their story on stage. It just depends on where you go. And one of the things I told my wife was, it's just not right to have a show as powerful as Last Out and do as much healing and good as it does, and have to just, really just grovel for space. It's just not right. And so we decided we're going to get our own space. And so many people told us on the road, veterans, like, I wish there was a space where we could go and we could do this kind of stuff, storytelling, music writing, that was veteran owned. And so we found it, and that's what we've been doing in COVID is really trying to get that underway.
Yeah. So let's rewind this just a bit. So you've started this Better Ground, and it's veterans. Is it I know it's the number of the cast that were with you and that have been with you in Last Outplay, and the crew, right? Because a lot of people don't realize is that crew that U-Hauls that stuff all across the country and sets up the lights and everything. It's like a lot of them are veterans or somehow connected to them. I know maybe not all, but I know a number of them are.
Everybody on the team is connected to the military in some way. There's a military family member or a veteran who lost somebody. We're a team of mutts. We're 17 strong. Drove a U-Haul 28,000 miles, which is the circumference of the earth, in 1 year to deliver this play from Million, South Dakota to Santa Barbara to New York City, Jackson, Mississippi, 16 cities, Troy, that we took this play to, and it had a real powerful impact. But we believe this streaming performance that we're doing on Veterans Day, our goal is 10,000 people watching this thing, trying to move the needle across the country and get out of this division. But and so far it's looking pretty good.
Awesome. So are people, do people sign up now? They can buy get their subscription now and pay for it and that kind of stuff, and then they'll get an alert or sent the info of when to tune in or what the link to tune into and all that kind of thing.
Absolutely, they can get it now, and it's it's 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's an hour and a half on Veterans Day. That's Eastern Time, and it's a streaming performance. So what's cool about it is we call it combat storytelling. But you saw the play Last Out. I mean, it's very visceral, very raw. But what we did was we brought the cast back together, and we're going to do scenes from 3 plays to kind of span the genre of wars. We're doing Arthur Miller, All My Sons from World War II. I'm a very, very poignant scene from that. I'm doing a scene from The Things They Carried, which is a play about Vietnam. And then the cast is going to reassemble, and we're going to do a couple of scene montages from Last Out. And then we've got some veterans doing live storytelling from the stage that we trained them how to develop their story. And then we've got Zeke Vanderpool singing some badass music, some combat tunes that night that he wrote over in Afghanistan. Be a great evening.
So some of it is live, some of it's pre-recorded and done that'll stream, and then some of it you'll cut in with live storytelling through at certain points. Is that how it's going to go?
So it's all live.
Oh, it's
We're
all
doing
live.
the whole
Okay.
thing. Oh yeah, we're taking away the safety net, and we're doing all things streaming from this platform called SI in Tampa. And we wanted to do it all live because we just feel like that's a much better way to connect to all. But the live storytelling, what I was talking about, these are not performers. These are veterans, everyday folks who have learned how to tell their story, and they're raising their hand and saying, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I think it's just going to be really healing and really good. I mean, it's going to be a great night. I think people really enjoy it. It's an hour and a half of just raw, guttural storytelling.
Awesome. So, and if people pay for it and they get the subscription, they can go back later. Like if they're telling family or friends about it, they can go back. Once they have a subscription, they can go back and watch the recorded version anytime, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll push the recording out where folks can catch it for sure. Because we want to be able to repurpose it. But I think, Troy, on Veterans Day, particularly this Veterans Day, I think a lot of people are looking at what's going on in the country and they're like, man, um, I want to do something. Like I want our veterans to know that we still care about them, that we still know they're out there. And this is a great way to do it. I mean, this is a great way to do it. It's a way to really, really bring your families and just really, dial in to these stories because it just gives us an idea of what "thank you for your service" actually means.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it's with this whole pandemic thing. I mean, to twice a year we take our Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, a whole bunch of people out to the biggest cemetery in the Buffalo area. It's a huge military section, and we work with the American Legion and a number of groups, and we put all the flags out, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's just as far as you can see is a sea of flags. Well, this Memorial Day we couldn't do it, right, because of everything. It was in May, and they wouldn't do it. The American Legion was concerned about being held accountable if somebody caught something, and it was the first time ever since my son, who's my middle son, who's 26, since he's been a little teeny smallest tiger Cub Scout, we've always done this, and we couldn't do it this year. And I would imagine a number of states, especially now that we've seen an uptick, and with everything going on with the politics, and the number of governors, it seems that this virus has somehow turned into a complete political partisan virus of some type, that a lot of them are still not going to allow, regardless of what happens, they're not going to allow celebrations or memorials or anything like that. And people may be missing that opportunity to show their gratitude to a veteran or do something. So this is a good way to do it.
Yeah, and we've got so many veterans from all genres. Our war, think about what this is doing to our war veterans, our Korean War veterans, our Vietnam veterans. I mean, they were struggling in many cases, particularly our Korean War veterans and our Vietnam War veterans were struggling before the pandemic. Now, the level of isolation and discord in the country. I mean, I'm just not good with it. I think we're better than that, and I think that did not honor some way these men and women that served the country, even those that didn't serve in combat. I just think we're better than that. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go the other direction, and we're gonna show what it does look like. And the other thing I'll say, Troy, and I'll leave it here is, I think there's a lot of wisdom in what the veteran population knows about uncertainty and division and conflict. And if we would just be still and listen to some of the stories about overcoming racism and everybody being green and something bigger than ourselves, there's a lot of accelerated wisdom in the veteran experience that we can learn as citizens. That's the other thing we're hoping for on Veterans Day, is that if we just be still and listen to these stories, we might have a better idea on how to behave as a citizenry.
Right. Well, it's a couple of things you mentioned here. It reminded me of something we've been talking a lot about the last few weeks. One, we talked about that in all the politics going on, that the term racist and even the term Nazi has been used so much that it's been diluted to the point of nowhere near meaning what it used to be. When we were growing up, you just didn't call someone either one of those things. And I would imagine if our World War II vets, those that are still around, that are still on this side of the dirt, they've got to hear the word Nazi just thrown out there left or right. Those that maybe helped liberate a camp or saw firsthand or suffered firsthand of what the Nazis did, and they have to be looking at that, and it's got to make them cringe because they realize that people have no idea what that term means, right? What that reference is, just not something to throw out there loosely.
Right, you're right. And if you remember in the play, at the very end of the play, there's a scene where Danny is in an argument with his wife Lynn because his son Caden has just told him that he's going to join them. Danny's pretty disillusioned about what's happened in Afghanistan and what might, befall his son. And I know this rings very true to you too, because I know your son served. And he says to his wife, dying for your country is one thing, but I have no clue how I'm supposed to live for it. And I derived that line from Sebastian Junger's book Tribe, where Junger says that one of the hardest things that veterans deal with today is to witness our civilian populace speaking to each other with a level of contempt that is usually reserved for one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a real problem there. I mean, that doesn't end
well. Right. And that kind of made me think of the other thing, which is just this, like you said, the level of no civility at all, right? The whole thing of the First Amendment is to have a civil discourse, to be able to talk and disagree and openly without fear of retribution or anything. And it's absolutely not, right. It's either my way or the highway, and it's everything like that. And it's got to many a veteran that have shed blood or given up parts and pieces and lost comrades left and right. Look at how this country acts right now, and veterans go back as far as that we can still find any alive have to be just shaking their heads too, because the people just, I mean, it's like when I was in Korea in 1989, the older Korean people, the younger college kids, Koreans would just, hated us and through, all that kind of stuff. The older ones who saw what the Americans did for them and suffered, they're always appreciative because they know that the Americans are over there doing what they don't have to, right? It's like the older veterans who saw what this country has been through civil, the civil rights stuff, everything before that, the Great Depression, everything else, to see how people act now. I mean, it's nothing but first world problems, right? And it's nothing but not real problems at all. It's got to frustrate all of them. But yeah, so I mean, this is phenomenal. Where do you think this goes from here? Are you just going to kind of see how it goes? Do you think this could open up a genre, open up a conduit for something similar to this getting better, just as regular everyday veteran non-performers just to tell their stories?
Absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, our primary mission with the Hero's Journey is to help warriors find their voice and tell their story. One of the things that's coming out, Troy, with a lot of data, a lot of studies, recent studies on veteran integration into the workplace, it really has me worried. For the longest time, it was hire 100,000 vets, right? Get vets employed. But what we're seeing now is there's two figures that are coming out that bothers me. One, there's a Duke study that basically says that a lot of hiring managers and HR people, bosses, believe that veterans don't have the interpersonal skills necessary to deal with clients. I have a problem with that, but whether it's true or not, it's a perception, and it's something we got to deal with. They're not putting veterans in the client-facing position that they should. Two is 40% of veterans in the workplace now, according to another study, don't identify as veterans when they apply for jobs. And a lot of that is because they don't like how they think they're going to be treated. Now, that's a problem. That means 40% of our veteran population, when they go to work, are not bringing their full selves to work. Now, right. and that's dangerous for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to try to do is build what we call narrative competence, the ability to use storytelling and interpersonal skill sets in your work, in your life. And that's what we focus on at the Hero's Journey. So we'll keep doing this, the stuff from the stage to show the power of it. But behind the scenes, what we're really focusing on is helping veterans tell their story for every possible use they can imagine so that they have that skill set.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And that's what you're hoping to get with this Veterans Performing Arts Center down in Tampa is to give them a chance to just get on a stage, if you would, or just stand in front of a couple of people or whatever, or video themselves just telling some story and releasing those demons and just getting that out in the open for the first time, I would imagine.
So we're gonna work the storytelling piece like in our classrooms and stuff to include with trained counselors, and they have that asset. We're also my goal is that we become the Steppenwolf of veteran performing arts. Like, I want to be a world-class place where veteran songwriters, veteran playwrights, veteran actors come. We've been at this war for 20 years, brother. We don't need Thor to play a team leader on 12 Strong. Like, no offense against Thor, but we've got plenty of talented actors like Bryan Bachman who can get up on the stage and kill it, you know. And so I want a safe space where we can do all facets of veteran storytelling and connect with the populations, that they can come and see this and really just be a part of something special. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think there's another veteran performing arts center like this. And so we're real excited to.
Yeah, well, Tampa's a good place to do it, right?
Yeah,
There's enough veterans down there at least to get started with. That's for sure. And
absolutely.
yeah, so awesome. Well, hey Scott, I don't want to keep you too long, and I want to keep this kind of short for our folks tuning in on a Sunday night. I appreciate all the folks tuning in. I see, and the folks that didn't get the chance to see us live or watching after the fact. Thanks for watching this. Scott, where can people find info not only about Hero's Journey but also about Better Ground?
Yeah, so if you go to theheroesjourney.org, and let me spell that because it's plural, TheHeroes, heroesjourney.org, you can find out about our nonprofit, and more importantly, you can find out about the streaming performance that will be Veterans Day, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, combat storytelling for the nation, heal the nation. I hope everybody will join in and share the link with their friends.
Awesome. Well, and you're going to give me those links. We're going to get those up on our Facebook page and all of our socials and get that out there. We have about 10 days till that day hits us. And, we hope that through all of this, and especially over these next couple of days, this country can start to heal in about 3 days, I guess, and come back together what it means to be a great country that we are. And better yet, circle back around things that are worth coming together on. And one of those is to honor our veterans who have, people say a lot of things. They throw a magnet on their car. They stand up at the flyovers to the games, but this is the one time where they can really, put some meat on the bone and actually show it for sure. So,
You got it, brother.
thank you for giving people the ability to have a pole to rally around there. So.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
loud
it.
noise. Listen. All right, man. Well, Scott, thank you so much, brother. Stay on for a second. I'll just chat with you real quick after we end, and I want to tell everyone to please tune in there. Check out heroesjourney.org, and also tune in this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Toby will be hosting the show. I'm not sure he's hosting with, but he does have a guest lined up, so be sure and stay tuned in at Stu and the Nunn at StuandTheNunn.com. And until then, we will talk with everyone later.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Stu and the Nunn. We had as much fun listening to it as we did hosting it. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. You can find all these links at StuandTheNunn.com. Talk to you again next Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 p.m. Also, we'd like to thank our sponsors, The Outdoor, Veteran Outdoor, Night Bike Company, for immediate solution. Thank you again.